ridiculous.
Are you ready?
Well, yeah, because I already pushed the live button.
Top of the morning to ya.
Oh, Lord. Is that what you were going to say that you weren't going to tell me you were going to say?
Slapping the bass, man.
God, why does it always
I don't
say
know.
things to us?
I don't know. It pops up things to talk to us. Slapping the
Don't-
bass. You
don't-
haven't seen that movie, have you? Because
No.
you haven't seen any movie.
We're
Whatever.
shaking again.
It's hilarious.
We have to give a big shout out to Michael, because apparently he watches us like every week.
That's so sweet.
It is really sweet.
And his wonderful wife brought us snacks today in this adorable little hat, which I have
has
decided
taken residence on your head.
It's like I obviously need to wear that for a Facebook Live.
Yeah.
But it's kind of hot, so I'm actually gonna take it off now. It's hot. It's a little toasty on my head.
You do get hot though.
I know. It's because
It's because you're hot.
Mhm.
Yeah. Here, you could also use it as like a fan.
I could do like a whole routine with this, like a little tap dancing number.
You should, yeah.
See, like people miss out.
They do. You're not missing much.
That's what you think. But I have a fun song for today.
Yeah, are you going to use
I
that
think
as
you
a
like
prop for your song?
I don't know that it works with the song.
Okay.
Okay, we'll just play the song. We'll see. We'll see if the spirit grabs me. Well, okay. You can't handle it. It gets all blurry when you start moving back and forth. It gets blurry.
Well, what if I stay still?
And you just have your face on like that.
Yeah. Like this.
Uh-huh. That's usually what you look like while I'm dancing.
It is. It's just in the spirit of your
Typically,
dancing.
how that goes.
Don't forget, you're still using that same cup.
Oh, shoot. Dang it. Good looking
We
out,
were
bud.
just talking about that.
I forgot that that's what I was using. I'm sorry.
You're still using it. At least you just grabbed it and I noticed.
Mhm.
So
See? Good looking out.
yeah.
Thank goodness for Crystal.
Who would have thought I'm the adult right now?
It's not usually how it goes.
True. True.
So...
Are we going to talk about?
Well, we can.
You just said that that's not usually how it goes, and it made me think of you coming to my house early so you can pack all of my stuff.
So let's talk
For the
about
trip.
when you got married.
Okay.
And how so she came to stay at my house the night before.
Because you know tradition.
Exactly.
I mean,
And we got ready at our house, whatever. So the night before, it was after the rehearsal, which went to like, well, it was like 9:00 or something.
I have
Or was
no
it
idea.
after
Because it
9?
was a
It was
giant
late.
cluster. It was
It was
awful.
a little, it was a little discombobulated.
That's how most
There
of
was-
my life goes.
It has
so.
some people that didn't want to show up when they needed to, and whatever. So she came to see. So like, my husband was there and I was there. And so we drove Crystal back to our house. But first, we had to make a stop. We had to stop at Crystal's house so that she could pack literally everything that she was going to need for the next day. She hadn't packed any of the things.
None of it.
None of
None of it.
And she couldn't find half of it.
Are you sure I didn't pack any of it?
I don't know that you packed any of it. I have no idea. You were inside for a really long time. And I was like, do we need to go in and get her? I don't know. Oh yeah, Delilah's coming. I'm excited to meet her too.
Yes.
I'm excited. But yeah, so Crystal, she's so
I
told
feel like
her-
I had some things prepared. But to be fair,
Aw.
thank you for that.
You don't understand that.
I was also dealing with a lot of other things as well. Give me that one.
You were. Meanwhile, so that's Crystal's personality. And this isn't like a one-time thing. Like, this is how Crystal's life is. Like, when we've traveled together before, same sort of thing. So that's how Crystal does things. Whereas I am the one that, like, 2 years in advance will start making my packing list and, like, set stuff aside and put it in. You know, like, oh, if it's not something I'm going to need every day, I'm just going to go ahead and pack it right now and be ready. And I have my checklists and, like, yeah.
She
That's how I
packs
am.
literally everything.
I don't pack everything. I'm just prepared.
I don't know why the first thing that popped into my head, but I was gonna say if you need a butter dish, she's probably packed it.
A butter dish.
I don't know. I was looking at butter dishes last
well,
night,
that's
so
fair.
it's the first thing that popped into my head. She probably has one that she has brought with her.
If it was necessary to the event or the whatever, the activity, yeah.
No, you probably pack one anyway, all the time. I'm like, hey, do you have any bug spray? I don't know. She's got it. Hey, do you have,
like so when
do you have a pair of my glasses?
we were going on our
And
float
she pulls
trip.
them out. I
Well,
don't know.
that's what I told her when we go on our float trip this year because we're gonna do a clinic float trip. I'm gonna make her a list of things, but I know that she's not actually going to get them ready, and so then I'm just gonna show up at her house like an hour early so I can pack everything for her. So,
But this is why our friendship works. Because for one, you're the opposite. You pack everything.
yeah.
For two, you know that this is how I am. So
Yes.
it's not a surprise or a shock to you when you're like, hey, I'm here.
And it doesn't get me. I'm not mad about it. It just is really funny, and it's just not how I live my life.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
all.
just like spur of the moment, whatever.
Yeah, lots of. I learned that from my mom. The list
I make a
making.
list, yeah.
We used to make fun of her.
Like Crystal, I don't get this.
Well, see,
Yes.
that's probably a good happy medium.
Yeah.
But yeah, my mom growing up, so we used to do like family vacations. We would load up in the van and drive wherever. And we went like northeast, we went out west, whatever. And she would make lists for everything. And then she would make lists of her lists because she'd have like one that was like, oh, the kids need to pack this. Rich needs to pack this, and we need this food, and we need, like, so she'd have all these different lists. So then she'd have to have a list of her lists. So that's where
I mean, I'll make like mental notes of what I need, or
Yeah.
like a couple days beforehand, I'll write down all of the things. Hello, husband. But I don't typically start packing until like the night before. And then, like you said, half the stuff I can't find,
or it's not clean,
or it's not clean, or it
Yeah.
doesn't fit. Like
It
she was
doesn't
asking me about
fit.
swimsuits, if I have any swimsuits. And I was like, well, yeah. And she goes, no, that fit you. And I was like, I'll just pack all of them, and surely one of them will fit.
But then she'll get there and none of them will fit.
Yeah.
Half of them will be too big, half of them will be too small, none of them will fit. That's what will happen. That's fine.
It's fine.
Also, how do you know he wasn't talking to me? He just said gorgeous.
I mean, it could have been you. I was just saying, hi, husband. You were supposed to respond to that, okay?
Oh, goodness. So anyway, what we were actually going to talk about today, we just spent 10 minutes talking about nonsense.
No, it only like 7.
Oh, okay. But we were going to talk about the dollar bills, y'all. No,
Of which
no
I-
reaction to that?
Of which I have none.
That's
this
it.
what I was
Making
supposed to do?
it rain. Making it rain. See, that's
Yeah.
the most dancing that you did today.
Probably.
So we're gonna talk about cost of veterinary care and maybe some options for people that are looking for ways to make it more affordable and a little easier on the pocketbooks. Because we definitely understand. Obviously, there's a cost associated with owning a pet.
Oh, can you tell who I am now? Should I take my hair out too?
I don't know who you are. I looked over and it was a stranger. Anyway.
If you don't get that, you didn't watch last week's video.
It's fine. I told her she should take her hair down and take glasses off. And, yeah.
But it actually
Superhero.
looks pretty good right now, so
Yeah.
I'm not going to mess with
Cute.
it.
So this topic, so one, I think it's clever because we're talking about green.
Talking
Outside
to
of
the blonde.
That's fair, I guess. So, money is green and it's St. Patrick's
Mhm.
Day. So there you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that when I said we should do this topic.
Yeah. So it's appropriate. And also, so I saw,
Are you going to read it?
I will read it.
Yeah.
So I saw a post on the Facebooks. So it was a post that was talking about. Sorry, I'm pulling it up right now while we're talking. So the original post was about like in support of veterinarians and recognizing some of the difficulties that we experience, and it was talking about too. We unfortunately have lost a couple. I think there was like 3 different people in the veterinary field who have committed suicide like within the past couple weeks. So talking about the high.
May have seen some of
Yeah.
the like not one more vet
Yeah.
people changing their what's it called, their profile picture
Mhm.
to that.
Yeah. So it was talking about that, and why that's a prevalent thing in our field, and kind of explaining some of that sort of stuff, and talking about like the clinics that are still doing curbside, and a lot of people are mad about that, and it's just in support of the veterinary community. I have no idea if this person was original, if the original poster was a vet or a vet tech. I have no idea who they were. It was something that came across, probably a friend of mine posted on it or something like that.
Yeah. So we don't know this woman. We don't know where she lives, where she went.
Yeah.
None of it.
I know none of these people. But I made the mistake of reading the comments.
It happens a lot.
Always a bad idea. Oh, Diana made it. Hi, Diana. So I came to this post, and I won't say who it is, and it doesn't matter because I don't know who she is anyway. But she says, I agree with the paying a high bill to an extent. The ER vet where I live wanted $10,000. That's right, 10 grand paid in full up front to do surgery on my dog. I didn't have that, so I had no choice but to euthanize her. That stuff haunts me every single day. There's no reason to expect that kind of payment in full. Payment plans should be an option. Us people with lowerish incomes still deserve the companionship of a pet. So
there's several things with that we can talk about.
And I because it's the interwebs. I started. I was like gonna respond, and then I was like, there's honestly no point. She's clearly grieving over her pet, number one, and I get that. And it doesn't matter how long ago that was. If it was 6 months ago or 6 years ago, people grieve over their pets, and especially when they feel like it was something tragic like that. It is very, very sad. There are, unfortunately, though, multiple things wrong with this story. So, would you like to go with problem number 1?
Which one do you want me to go over?
I don't know, whatever you want.
Well, for one, she says payment plan should be an option.
Yeah.
And, unfortunately, we have been in this field long enough to know, and it's not everyone.
It's not.
But the majority of people that need payment plans, or because I'm one of those people. I don't have a lot of money. I'm not good with money. I don't save my money.
Mm-hmm.
I will flat out be honest with you. I have $9.60 in my bank account right now. And maybe that's too much information. I don't really care if you know that. But we're not here to judge you. But the problem is with payment plans, a lot of times we get burned on them.
Mm-hmm.
It's something where people have the best intentions for their pets. They want to do everything that they can.
Mm-hmm.
They just can't afford it.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, a lot of times we have gotten, I wouldn't say suckered in, but we have taken their word that they're going to pay it. And they might make 1 or 2 payments, or maybe they pay a deposit of, let's say their bill is $1,000 and they pay $100 of it, and they're going to pay $100 a month. They might make their $100 deposit, and we never hear from them again.
Yeah. And unfortunately, that's not the exception. That's more likely the rule. The couple of times where I have done payment plans for people, I go into it assuming that they are never going to pay me. Because then I know up front I'm not going to see that. And so when I don't see it, because most of the time that's the case, I'm prepared for that. And unfortunately, it's not like we're not just jacking up prices just because. There's a lot of things that we have to pay for as a business. Oh my. You close that door real quick.
Yeah.
I think somebody's getting their catheter removed and is very unhappy about it. So there's a lot of things that go into the cost. It's not just charging it because I feel like it. We pay rent, we pay utilities. Yeah. I have staff that I have to pay. They enjoy having paychecks, at least
Once
every
in a
so
while.
often, So, there's utilities, there's supplies, everything kind of goes into that. Not to mention, there's a business loan. I have student loan debt, that's what it took for me to go to vet school. Unfortunately, it's very expensive and that price is continuing to increase. So there's a lot that goes into it. So it's not like we're not just out here just to try to get your money. We're trying to do the best thing for the pet, but still be able to have my staff have a good quality of life. The other issue that I think is not clear in this story is, were there other payment options available to her? So a couple of the things that we offer here, instead of us financing you, because like I said, I really can't afford to do that for the vast majority of people, is something like Care Credit or Scratch Pay. So if you're not familiar with those are two different payment options. So basically it's like a line of credit for your veterinary care. They can only be used in certain places. So like Care Credit can be used at like a dentist or like your doctor's office or at a veterinary office if they accept it. So that's a possibility, and it's very quick to get approved. You can ask for a certain amount, and sometimes they'll give you extra, or sometimes they'll give you less, and you don't have to use all of it, and that's fine because it's just a line of credit, so you only have to pay back what you use versus it being like a loan. Scratch Pay is the same sort of thing. They give you the line of credit for whatever that procedure is. So the problem here is obviously you do have to have, some kind of credit. And I get it, not everybody does, but it's something to maybe plan for in advance just in case. Or maybe look into doing like pet insurance. I know there's not a lot of people that are using pet insurance yet. And I get it because it's, you have to basically you pay your monthly premium, you pay for whatever services up front typically, and then the company reimburses you whatever percentage they do. Most of them are 80-20. I think Trupanion is one that's like 90-10. You have to meet your deductibles and things like that. So it can be complicated, and there's certain things that it covers and that it doesn't cover. It don't tend to cover wellness sort of things. Oh God,
so
you made me
sorry.
sing like hot.
Oh no!
Oh my God,
that's tragic.
So it doesn't cover wellness. I'm talking about pet insurance.
Yeah.
It doesn't cover wellness things. So like vaccines, heartworm tests, heartworm prevention. But it's more like accident, illness, injury type things.
I feel like don't some of them cover their annual?
You can get a rider. Usually, so like an add-on thing that's like $20-$30 a month. It's kind of like prepaying based on like what they actually cover for that. So, it's worth looking into.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's an angry mitten.
Yeah, he's angry. He's angry. You know what? He was angry when he first got here.
Yeah, he was.
Sorry, bud. Some of them don't like coming to see us, and that's very sad. He's sad because we took a picture of him with a hat on.
Yeah. What other things did you cover?
So we talked about Care Credit and Scratch Pay as well. So like as payment options, basically. Yeah. So it's with the Care Credit and Scratch Pay, yes, you have to have credit for that. And I know not everybody can get that, but and that's fine. Again, no judgments. But
I mean, when we tell you guys, we understand. We get it.
Yeah. I've applied for Care Credit for one of my own dogs before.
Yeah.
Yeah. When they had to go to the specialty hospital. Yeah, I did. Because I wanted to have that just in case. I wanted to have that available so that, I knew if something happened, I could be like, do it.
Yeah.
Or, nope, can't afford that. Don't do it.
Exactly.
So, yeah, and I never ended up needing to use it, but it was good to have it there, JIC.
Yeah. But I mean, going back to not being able to do payment plans. If you go to the grocery store, they expect you to pay for your groceries when you get them. They're not like, oh, you don't have food for this week. I'm so sorry to hear that. Don't care. Like, it's the same sort of concept. Mm-hmm. And there's some people that come in and they're really rude about it. And I'm sure it's because they're upset.
They're upset. They're embarrassed, probably.
And I'm like, I'm sorry. Like, if I come to your work and ask for that, what would you tell me?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's the same thing. So,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, unfortunately, that's what credit cards are for. That's what Scratch Pay, Care Credit, all of that. So,
and truthfully, if Care Credit and Scratch Pay can't afford to finance you, then I probably can't either. Because at least they're big companies that they've like spread out their risk a lot.
Yeah.
Whereas we just can't. It's not that I don't want to, it's that I cannot. So we're not trying to be jerks.
yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, we feel just as bad about it.
Mm-hmm. I can usually figure something out as far as like a plan B, C, D, E, F, G.
Yeah.
You know, like there's different levels depending on what we're treating, what we're doing. But you know, sometimes there's not. Sometimes it's like it's this or it's that, and that's it. And it sounds like in that story, I gotta be honest, somebody that has a dog that needs $10,000 surgery, we're not talking about like an ACL repair. We're not talking about a broken leg. We're talking about something that's way more involved. That animal was probably dying anyway. And that's why euthanasia was the other option. So like I said, I mean, I get it. She's grieving still. I mean, it takes a long time to get over things like that, even if you even can. But I think people see stuff like that and they're like, yeah, screw that ER vet. They're terrible. Ugh. And I think it's important to think about the other side of the story of what actually happened there.
Can we talk about a little bit of the business stuff here? Is that
Like what?
like, you know, we're still super new. We
Yeah.
don't have a ton of, we've got a lot of clients. We don't have as much as an established
Oh yeah, we're definitely, I mean, we're still growing.
vet clinic.
Yeah.
So we don't,
Mhm.
I mean, I don't know if it's okay to talk about it on here. We're not really making money.
Right.
So
Yes. True.
unfortunately, we can't
Yeah.
afford to do it.
Yeah.
I say we,
And
I
that's
really
not,
mean
you know, and I don't want it to be like a pity party, like, oh god, or like, oh, we're doing so terribly. No, not at all. It's a growing business. This is to be expected.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, like reality check. I'm not rolling in the dough
True.
here. You know, if anything, my husband and I are putting more money into the practice instead of getting money back from it. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's a long term investment situation, and it's to be able to do what I think should be done, you know, without having to answer to anybody else, which is kind of
Yeah.
cool.
Best care medicine.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's what we strive for. When we make treatment plans to come in and go over them with you guys, you
Yeah.
know, we're putting on there what we feel is medically necessary or beneficial for your pet.
Don't tell me you only want to do what's necessary.
I was making a joke about that with my husband the other night, and I was like, I only want to do what's necessary.
That's like, oh God. I always so badly want to be like, oh good, because otherwise I was going to put a whole bunch of unnecessary things on your treatment plan today. No, no.
Pay for that fancy new car you have out
My
there.
fancy new car. That green roller skate. So 2015 Kia Soul. You should be jealous.
We did have someone, oh, well, you guys just charge so much so you can have nice cars.
I mean, it's not a bad car.
No, but when you had your Ion,
It's got heated seats. I feel fancy. Oh yeah, when I had my Ion.
don't talk to me about heated seats
Oh,
right
God.
now.
My 2003 Saturn Ion.
Yeah, I was like, have you seen what the doctor here is driving? Literally the
That
worst
I
car in the
drove.
parking lot.
That I drove until, 2017 or 2018? Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I mean, I drove it till it died.
Yeah,
Till it died.
it was dead.
It was DED dead, like literally. I pulled into a parking space at the gym. This was back when I think I was just going tanning, let's be honest. Yeah, I pulled into the parking lot at the gym, went to turn the car off, and it just went,
It took its last breath.
yeah. And I was
Done.
like, ooh, that's not good. That's not good at all. So,
Yeah.
And that's what will happen with this car too. So yes, we're not living in mansions. We're not driving, Mercedes Benz, Rolls Royce, Cadillac, Jaguar.
If you go to the hospital, those nurses there are making at least 2 times
Yes.
what either of us make.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, for you especially.
Right now for me, yeah.
But
Yeah. So there's a lot that goes into it. And so I think, it takes some planning ahead of time. Even if you're getting a new pet, and especially if you get a free animal, you better be ready to pay extra money for that. Because somehow they end up with all the problems. And that's another reason why we encourage people when they're getting a new pet to go through a rescue where they're at least for their first year typically up to date on their vaccines. If it's an adult animal, if it's a puppy or a kitten, they might need a couple more rounds, but they're up to date. They're spayed or neutered. They're heartworm tested. They have all these things that have been done. For the cost,
what's happening there.
For the cost of the adoption fee, which is usually fairly inexpensive, versus you go buy an animal. This infuriates me. You go buy a couple $1,000 animal from a breeder, and
you think
then
you're
you
done.
come in here, you think you're done, and you have no money for their vaccines or the appropriate care that they need, preventative care wise. So not even just like, by the way, this accident happened, we need all these things. No, this is just like basic medical preventative care. But I think when I was totaling it up, I think the first year for a puppy or a kitten is going to be somewhere in the realm of like $800 to $1,000, depending. So that's something. I mean, obviously it's not like all up front; it's spread out, but it's something to consider when you're looking at getting a new pet. Is what is it going to cost? Do I have the money not just to buy that animal, but to care for them? Because that's important. And we've had a couple of people that have called up before they went and got their new puppy, and they're like, "I just want to know what I'm looking at." And I'm like, "That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's amazing. I love that." But most people don't.
When you spend $2,500 on a puppy and you think, "Oh, well, I'm done. I spent $2,000 on this puppy." But now
you're mad at us because things cost more. Hey, my fault.
Yeah.
Sorry about you, but I don't really feel bad for you either. Because that was your life decision. I don't know. Maybe that's too real.
You spent more on that puppy than I did my kid.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Good Lord. Any other costing options or anything?
I don't think so. I mean, other than we've had people that have contacted family members about helping out with the bill.
Mm-hmm. Friends?
Sometimes
family?
That's an option.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you could always do a GoFundMe or...
Yeah, there's people that do those.
Yeah.
If it's something that's not urgent, emergent sort of things, they're stable enough that you have a few days. Yeah. You could do something like that.
Other than that, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I think the big part is just planning ahead, and having some kind of backup plan for if something was to happen, what would you do? And knowing that in advance. And then hopefully you never need to use that. Maybe you don't. Maybe you never need that. That's great. But if you did, what would you do?
And then understanding,
because that's your responsibility, not ours.
Right.
That animal's your responsibility. You took them on. That's your job to figure that out. Not our job
and as
to
much
cover
as we
you.
want to help you, we have families too.
Right.
I have 2 kids at home. I've got 4 dogs and a cat of my own. As much as I would love to help everyone that comes in, I can't.
I believe, you know what? I win the lottery, or we get some kind of fancy backing person with bajillions of dollars that we could do all the things for free. Oh yeah, I'm there.
Yeah. And then we could do whatever we wanted to do. Or whatever we needed to do.
Yeah, I'd be all about it. But that's not real life.
Yeah, unfortunately.
That's not real life.
Just understanding that, we can't do payment plans because of the people in the past that have, run out on, they're like, oh, I won't say it.
They've ruined it for everyone.
They have, and understanding that it's not our fault.
Mhm.
You know, as much as we want to help you and to help your pet, we don't want them to suffer.
Mhm.
We can't pay every bill that comes in here.
Mhm.
So,
So please don't be mad at us.
yeah.
Please.
And especially with vaccines and stuff, we're more than willing to break it up into
Mhm.
separate appointments.
Yeah,
And
I mean that's why we have wellness plans available too. So you don't have to pay that big chunk up front. You can divide it all up, so it's a lot more convenient for people. They can
Yeah.
still do all the things that they need to be doing. So yeah, I wasn't meaning for it to be a plug for our wellness plans, but that is an option as well.
do you know who I am now?
You're back. You're
I'm
Crystal.
back.
I didn't know who was sitting next to me for the longest time. I'm glad to see Crystal's back.
Yeah, I'm back. Back in black.
We can play that song. Oh man.
Okay.
Well, I think our appointment is here, so we gotta skedaddle. I hope everyone has a wonderful St. Patrick's Day. And if you go out, stay safe. Don't drink and drive.
True.
Don't do it.
Have a bunch of green beer.
Have a bunch of green beer.
I don't know. I'm not doing anything.
That's right.
I'm just going home at 3 and
That's exciting. I'm gonna wear my hat.
will you like tip it for me once? There. Yeah, that was it. That was it. That was yeah.
All right, everyone. Have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you next week. Bye bye.